Hellverine, issue number 8 from Marvel Comics. So, in the last issue, we had Severeth turn against the Project Hellfire group, and he has trapped Akihiro inside this monument. And that's what most of this issue is. It's two parts. One part, Akihiro trying to escape the monument. The other part is the origin story of Hellhulk. So, Hellhulk was born in Hell, obviously. Inside Hell, there was this Hell laboratory, and Severeth was the main scientist of this laboratory. And he had a bunch of these like little pods where he was creating these like demon babies. And he was creating them by just experimenting on a bunch of subjects. He would experiment on humans, animals, viruses, plants, demons, everything in between. And he would create this incubation chamber for demonic seedlings. And one of these seedlings is what is going to later become Hellhulk. It's this tiny little demon baby that Severeth takes, and he brings it to the Infernal Furnace, which is the giant cylinder that we saw in the previous issue. And this is pretty much a dangerous source of supercharged energy. In this case, Hellfire energy. So one of the experiments involved breeding demons who could absorb the Force and have it be fueled and weaponized by the Hellfire. And he takes this demon baby, puts it inside this basket, and shoves it into the furnace. And it's a success. Hellhulk emerges, it erupts from this furnace, and it does what it's meant to do. It's forge refined rage. It was furnace blasted hate. It was beautiful and it was terrible. And it promised to make chaos and carnage and ruin out of anything it encountered, including Hell itself. So we just see it going around and just causing chaos to Hell, because that's what it does. It's the embodiment of chaos and carnage, and it destroys everything. It doesn't matter what's in front of it, it's going to destroy it. So it's going around, it's destroying everything, including like all of Demon Bagra-ghul's monuments. It even goes after Mephisto himself and starts attacking him. And he's putting on a pretty good fight. Like, he's actually beating Mephisto when Mephisto summons Bagra-ghul. And Bagra-ghul goes and slices up Hellhulk into a bunch of different parts and then takes it to Earth, where it distributes all the different parts. So that's how Hellhulk was born. That's how it got its body all jacked up and sliced up into different pieces and spread across the Earth. It was because it went on a rampage in Hell and even attacked Mephisto. And Mephisto had to summon Bagra-ghul to stop it. And now Severeth is putting the pieces back together again. So he's a traitor to the Hellfire Project. He puts the pieces of Hellhulk back together again. Hellhulk is now whole, and he attacks the Project Hellfire members. And later on, after Akihiro is saved, like he saves himself from the monument, he's able to break free. He goes to the Project Hellfire, and he sees that all his comrades are dead. And this, I bring this up because this goes to the point of one of my biggest problems with Benjamin Percy. I like Benjamin Percy. I like his writings. I've covered a lot of his stuff lately on this channel. Like, I love his Ghost Rider runs, and I'm reading his Hellverine. I'm reading his Predator versus Spider-Man. I tend to read a lot of Benjamin Percy stuff. But he has his faults. And one of his faults is that he rushes things. His stories are very fast-paced, when they would be a lot better if he kind of slowed down. And this is one of the best examples that I can give of this. The members of Project Hellfire are killed. They're only given a panel, and then Akihiro is already moving on to the next thing. He doesn't really even stop to, be sad about the fact that his comrades are dead. He just like looks at their body, and then he continues on. He saves Dr. Spivey. Looks like she might be dead too. And then Akihiro immediately just moves on and goes to chase after Hellhulk. And this series could have a lot more emotional impact if we slow things down. If we had Akihiro actually spending time with Project Hellfire members. We saw one short little montage that was maybe like 2 or 3 panels, and that was it. That's not going to allow me to connect with these characters in any way. You're giving me 3 panels. Okay, whatever. What Benjamin Percy should have done is he should have had more downtime between Akihiro and Project Hellfire. He should have shown them going out on more missions together. Actually doing things together on the missions, because the one mission we saw of them working together, Akihiro was down under the ocean doing his own thing, trying to collect the head of Hellhulk. Meanwhile, the Project Hellfire member was on the cruise ship trying to fight off the civilians that were being affected by the Hellhulk head. So they, even when they were on a mission together, they weren't actually completing their mission together. They were each doing separate tasks. So this series would have worked a lot better if we had multiple issues of him working with Project Hellfire. We got to see downtime of them hanging out, talking together. Maybe they're sharing their dreams and goals and what they want in life, where things went bad. Stuff like that, just so we can connect more with these characters and get more of their history. It would have worked a lot better if we actually got to see them doing multiple missions together and actually doing them together. And then that way when they die, it actually has more of an emotional impact, not just on Akihiro, but as us, the reader. Right now, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't care that any of these characters died because I didn't feel any connection to them because I spent little to no time with any of them. So I think this would have worked a lot better if you slow things down. Give us more time to work with these characters. And then when their deaths happen, don't just have it be one panel and then you move on to the next thing. Actually have it, drawn out. Have him like he's seeing the destruction left behind by Severith. And maybe he sees like a silhouette. Maybe it's like, something in the darkness. And then like a light flickers and he sees the dead remains of his friends. His new friends that he has created these new bonds with, that they've shared pain together with, that they shared agony together with, that they shared joy and happiness with, and now they're gone. Except no, we didn't get any of that. We got 1 or 2 panels of them maybe hanging out, and then that was it. And then we get 1 panel of their death, and then that's it. So I feel no connection whatsoever. This moment right here has no impact on me whatsoever. Dr. Spivey, no impact whatsoever on the fact that maybe she's dead. She could be knocked out. She says, she tells Akihiro, like, you have to chase after Hellhole. Basically, you got to stop them. And then she goes limp. So I don't know if she's dying or if she's just knocked out. Let's just say that she's dead. I don't care. I know of her. Like, I've read everything with her in it because I've read all the other stuff that the series is connected to. But even then, like, I don't have enough of her character to really care. That's my biggest problem, is that there is no emotional impact with any of these characters. And it's kind of like earlier, I mentioned this before in the first couple issues, where we see Akihiro and he's fighting his inner demons. But the inner demons, the fights are super quick. We're introduced to the inner demon, not even a couple of pages later, he defeats it, and then it's on to the next thing. And it's like there's no emotional impact there. We had Akihiro meeting his mom for the first time. He's never been able to meet his mom before because she died during birth. And he meets her. Yeah, she's a demon, but he sees her. He gets to meet the demonic version of her. And there's no emotional impact whatsoever because it's just like we see her introduced as a cliffhanger. In the very next issue, he defeats her in a couple pages, on to the next thing. So that's my biggest problem with Benjamin Percy's writing, is that 1, it's too fast, and 2, because it's too fast, there's no emotional impact. His stories themselves are good. I like the premises and stuff. I like the ideas that he has. But he really needs to slow down. Give things time to breathe. You're moving way too fast, and because you're moving way too fast, there's no emotional impact whatsoever when anything happens to these characters, because I don't really connect with any of these characters. Even Akihiro, who I followed for 8 issues, I don't really have any connection to him. I mean, I'm reading it because I think it's cool having a Wolverine / Ghost Rider character going around fighting demons. Sounds awesome. So I'm reading it for that. But I have no connection or sympathy towards Akihiro because I don't really know much of him. What little we get, it's speedrun. Like I said in the beginning, he's fighting his inner demons. This could have been a perfect chance to introduce this character to new readers. A perfect jumping on point where we get to see all the horrors and sins and negativity of Akihiro and his past and just how his upbringing really messed him up. Now he's overcoming them by literally having to physically fight them because his past, all the negativity in his past has literally manifested itself into demonic versions of his inner demons. Like, his inner demons have become physical and now he has to fight them. That's a perfect time to really introduce this character to a new audience and have us sympathize with them. But we speed ran through that whole arc so quickly that I don't care. And that's basically what a lot of this series is. It's a lot of cool ideas and stuff, but I don't really care about any of the emotional beats because we haven't spent any time with these characters and just actually building them up into characters. They're basically just placeholders. You can replace Dr. Spivey with any other character. You can change her name, you can change her gender, her race, her nationality, and nothing would be affected in terms of the story. nothing would be changed. You can give her a completely new personality. Nothing in the storyline has changed because that's how little of an impact that she's had. Same with the Project Hellfire characters. You can change all of them. No difference whatsoever in the story. And that's how you know that there's something wrong with your writing if all the characters are interchangeable and it doesn't impact the story whatsoever. Yeah, that's my biggest problem with this series. My biggest problem with Benjamin Percy. Don't take this as, again, this isn't me like knocking on him or anything like that. I like Benjamin Percy's stuff. It's just he has a very huge flaw. And that flaw is seen in every one of his stories. And this is my critique of that flaw. Slow things down. Give us time to breathe. Give us time to really sympathize with these characters. Show them, like not just, fighting demons, but show what did they do on their off time? What are they like when they're not fighting demons? How do they interact with each other? Just like show these characters. Because we sped run through this whole thing, and now that they're dead, I don't care. There's no impact whatsoever. And it almost feels like we're not supposed to really care for them because they literally get one panel onto the next character. Dr. Spivey gets a couple of panels onto the next thing, and then we're just moving on with the story. And Akihiro doesn't even take time to, these characters that I just befriended are dead. He doesn't even have any kind of, emotional impact whatsoever on him. It's just, well, they're dead. I better go chase after Hellhulk now. So yeah, that's my biggest problem with this series. This issue, really emphasizes that flaw. Where I feel like this should have been the moment where we should have had some kind of emotional impact on the fact that these characters are dead, but there's not. I don't care. I don't care about these characters, really. I'm just reading this to see a Wolverine Ghost Rider fight demons. That's it. And I would like more to it than that. I mean, there's only so much that, cool fight scenes can take you. You gotta have some interesting characters to go along with it, and I'm not getting that here. Yeah, that's a shame. Hopefully, I don't know, things will pick up, but I feel like at this point, with all the other stuff I've seen from Benjamin Percy, I don't see him changing his style anytime soon, which is kind of a shame. Because I think he would greatly benefit from slowing down a little bit. Because his ideas are fantastic. It's just the execution is too fast. But yeah, there's Hellverine, issue number 8 from Marvel. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far. And I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again. And I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.